This is the A major section of my Volume 2 method book, and there's a link for the book underneath the video in the YouTube description. But feel free to grab some tips on playing in A major. So we're going to go over some scales and some arpeggios and chords, and then we'll be going over a duet and a solo piece and a chord song as well. So in the 2-octave A major scale, we're going to be doing a small position change to second position. So you'll be going through the first part of the scale, and then there'll suddenly be a shift to second position. Very small shift, but make sure that your thumb moves with your hand, right? Just like that. So the arm is just going to move the hand up. Don't let the thumb lag behind or anything like that. So 2-octave A major scale. You might even want to try stopping at the shift. Shift. Make sure your thumb shifts with the hand. Shift. So your thumb again moves with your hand. Just wanted to be very, very organized in that way. The position scale just goes up to the same note, but goes down to the lowest note in the position, and then back to the A. So it just covers all the notes in first position within that key, which is a very important point when you're learning to read music. Not just playing the scale, but playing all the notes within the position of the guitar. The 1-octave A major arpeggio, you'll be using different fingers here, but so 1 on the A, 2 on the C sharp. Again, it's just an A chord, right, with a high A in it. The A major triads. So this is root position, or A in the bass. Second inversion with the 5th in the bass, which is just like your normal A major chord, right? And then back to root position. Don't worry too much about the theory of it right now. Just get some experience playing those chords and recognizing what triads look like in notation. So the chord progression in A major. Again, this is very useful for recognizing chord shapes in your pieces. Also just for getting down some good first position chords for strumming songs and doing the normal things that guitar players do. A, or the 1 chord, D, or the 4 chord, back to A, 1 chord, E, or the 5 chord, back to A. When we play the solo piece, you'll want to recognize some of those chords in the piece. So the Minuet in A by Handel, there's another video for this, so feel free to watch the video where I'm playing with someone and you can just get an idea of what it sounds like. But for the most part, just play the upper part and use I-am fingering and just try to be nice and legato. So we'll just go through it really quickly. Just be careful of some of the fingering. Sometimes you have these little intervals that are actually part of a chord, so you need to use different fingering to accomplish legato on those. Instead of jumping the second finger over, we'll use 2, 3 for this example. But it's all listed on the page. Just be careful of that last line where you have that A triad like you learned in the triads. And making sure you stay in second position there. You don't want to be doing any huge reach outs or anything like that. Just once you play that G, you're firmly in second position. The second position starts here because the first finger's moved up, but really it's when you play that G that you want to get your fingers fanned out across the frets like that. So the Leçon 54 by Sagreras, this is essentially an arpeggio piece with a small melody in the top with the A finger. But you want to recognize lots of the chord shapes. So like the first bar is an A major chord, right? And it's okay if you don't recognize all the chords, but you want to recognize some of them. So like the second line, first bar, that's an E major chord. Doesn't include all the notes from your strummed chord, but it includes some of them. So you just want to be able to recognize some of them. The third line, second bar, has the D chord, right? So by recognizing the chord, you can more easily memorize it, and it brings down the requirement of reading very carefully. So, Leçon 54. One way you can possibly practice this is just playing it as chord shapes. So taking all the notes within the bar and just playing them as a block chord. That'll help teach the left hand all the harmonies in the piece and just secure you a little bit. You don't want to really read every single note. You just have to recognize the chord shape and then put your hand in that shape, and the rest is just up to right hand arpeggio playing. Just make sure you bring out that A finger a little bit extra because it kind of forms a little upper melody. Pretty straightforward piece though, so I hope you enjoy that. And try to just balance out the notes, bring out that melody, and stream through the piece in a nice legato fashion. Now, Bound for South Australia, you can play this piece as a melody, or you can strum the chords. If you have a teacher or a friend that can play with you, one of you can take one of those roles at a time. Again, there's another video of this, of me playing it with someone, so you can check out that video. All the videos are on the purchase page there. So feel free to check that out too. If you play the melody, just use I am fingering. You can probably start with M. Pretty straightforward little melody, but it's all in second position, so that's a really good practice for you, just staying in second position the whole time. If you're strumming the chords, probably just 2 strums per bar, right? And if there's 2 chords within one bar, then they each get 1 strum. So for example, you could also spice it up a little bit more. But it doesn't really matter. As long as you have 2 beats per bar, 2 main beats, half note beats, and you're just keeping that time very steady and you're really providing the rhythm, then anyone playing with you, whether they're singing or you're singing or they're playing the melody, you'll be able to just create a solid rhythmic background for them to play on and just be very much in an accompaniment and supportive role.